So you can spread out, come into a symmetrical, relaxed position, and either close your eyes or take a soft gaze. We'll slow down the breathing, inhaling until you're full, exhaling until you're empty. You might set a challenge for yourself to keep your breath slow and deep throughout the class. And know that when your mind wanders, your breath most likely will go back to something more natural, a little bit more shallow, a little faster. And then when you notice, slow it down and deepen it again. So you can keep your eyes closed or open them. And let's begin by sliding arms overhead. And we'll stretch out long through the arms and legs as long as you can. Interlace your fingers, press out through your palms and flex your feet, reaching through the heels of your hands, the heels of your feet. And then release. And bring your right knee to your chest. Give that knee a good squeeze in. Maybe a little jiggle or shake, releasing deep into your hip crease. And then straighten your right leg up towards the ceiling, holding somewhere behind your leg. Flex and point your foot a few times. Circle your ankle a couple times, both directions. And then bend your knee back in. We'll open the knee out to the right, just at a slight angle. You can keep your knee bent or straighten it part way or all the way out to the side. Support your leg in the way that makes sense for you. So one way is having your elbow on the floor and your leg resting into your hand. You could also hold higher or lower. Just try and keep the left leg grounded so you don't tip over. And then release, bend your knee and bring it all the way across for a spinal twist. Open out through your right arm, let your knee and shoulder reach away from one another. And then staying in your twist, try straightening your right leg on a low diagonal and your right arm on a high diagonal. So the fingers and toes reach away from one another. And release, roll back onto your back, bring both knees in. You can take a little circle or rock with your knees. Massaging the lower back and sacrum into the floor. And then grab hold of just the left knee, drop the right leg long. Squeeze this knee in close. And then straighten your left leg up towards the ceiling, holding somewhere behind your leg. Flex and point your foot a few times. Circle your ankle a couple times both directions. Nice big circles. Bend your knee back in. Open your knee out to the left and then straighten part way or all the way out to the side. Grounding down through the back of your right leg. And release, bend your knee, bring it across, spinal twist. First with a bent knee. And then then try straightening the left leg on a low diagonal, left arm on a high diagonal, fingers and toes reaching away from one another. And roll back onto your back, bring both knees in. Again, a little circle or rock, evening out your torso on your mat, little massage for the lower back. And then we'll drop the feet to the floor and get set up for a little bit of core work. So let's interlace fingers behind the head. Begin to engage the abdominals, pressing the belly down, the lower back down. And then exhale, lift head and chest up. Inhale, release down. Exhale up, inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, up and down, up and down, up and down. One more. Release down, send your right leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, head up towards your leg. Inhale, head down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. One more. And then release and switch. Left leg high. Exhale, head up. Inhale, head down. Up and down, up and down, up and down. One more on this side. And then release and switch again. Right leg high. This time, take your left arm across. Each time you exhale, reach a little further across. You take a little twist. Keep the belly pulling in strongly, but can you keep your face relaxed as you do this? One more on this side. Release and switch again. Last set, left leg high, right arm across. One more. And then release. Stretch long through your arms and legs. Bring your knees back in. Little circle or rock with your knees. And then roll your way up to sitting or make your way up to sitting. And let's come forward onto hands and knees, tabletop. If you want to pad your knees and you have something to put under them, feel free to put a blanket or cushion under your knees. Fingers spread, hands right under shoulders, knees under hips, and we'll take a few rolls through the spine, starting by lifting the head and tail, arching. Exhale, round, draw the belly in. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curve. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curve. Now, inhale, arch. From here, shift your weight forward, bend your elbows straight back, and dip part way or all the way to the floor. Press up from there. Round. Arch. Go forward to dip down. If going all the way down is too much, just go a couple of inches, and then you can press up from there. Round. Arch. Go forward to dip down. Press up. Round. Arch. One more time, dip down. Press up. Round, and then sink back to child's pose, releasing hips to the heels. Forehead to the floor. Finding a relaxed position for your arms and neck and shoulders, and still breathing nice and deep. With arms out in front of you, Walk your hands over to the right and then pull back through your walk your hands over to the left and then pull back through your right hip. So you're stretching right side of your torso a bit more. It's as if your right hand were glued to the floor and you're pulling your right hip away from it. Same thing other side. Walk your hands over to the right and then pull back through your left hip, stretching left side a bit more. And then come back to center. Let's lift up through table and come back to downward facing dog. We're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. And here you can bend one knee as you press the opposite heel towards the floor, waking up your calves and hamstrings, going back and forth a few times. And then as you settle onto 2 feet evenly, you might try lifting the heels, bending the knees, taking the hips even higher up and away from the hands. And either keep the knees bent and heels lifted or go towards straight, towards dropping, prioritizing that the back is nice and long from the hands to the sit bones. And then walk your hands and feet towards one another, and let's hang in ragdoll. Feet hip width apart, parallel. You can bend your knees a little or a lot. You might take a little sway or shake out here. Any arm position, you can let your arms hang, you can link elbows, but you could also use a little support through your arms, resting elbows on thighs or hands on ankles. Find a position where you're able to let the weight of your head fall, feeling the heaviness of your head hanging. And then bend your knees a little more and slowly roll up, coming all the way up to standing. Let's take a couple balancing poses. So first, feel your balance on 2 feet. You can separate your feet and just kind of shift your weight side to side, front to back, feel the soles of the feet. And then we'll move over to one side for tree, Vrikshasana. So you can bring your right foot somewhere on your left inner leg. If you can, go all the way up by your inner thigh. If that feels too high, go as low as you need. Could even be your calf or your ankle, anywhere above or below your knee. And put some pressure with the foot into the inner thigh to help keep it in place. Arms can be out to the side to steady you, or you could use a piece of furniture or a wall. If you feel solid, you might bring hands together or arms up, and if you start to lose it, you can always bring them back out again. Can you stand even taller? Feel the top of the head floating up towards the ceiling. And then release. Shake that out. Get steady on 2 feet again. And then we'll move over to the other side. Shift your weight over. Left leg comes up as high as you can, as low as you need, anywhere above or below your knee. Pushing your foot into your inner leg to help hold it in place, and then choose your arm position. You can always readjust. Can your breath be steady while you're concentrating on balancing? Can you relax your face? Release. Shake that out. Let's try a quad stretch balance. We're going to bend the right leg and reach back for the right foot. If that doesn't work for you, you could do tree again, same thing we just did. Opposite arm can be out to steady you, on something, or on your foot. As you pull your heel in, see if you can also open up the front of the right hip. So rather than the hips tipping back and creasing, lift through the front and drop through the back, like your tailbone was dropping and the pubic bone was lifting, to help open up. Tight quads and tight hip flexors can result in lower back pain. So we want to keep the lower back nice and long here and open up the front of the hip. And then release. Shake that out. Same thing other side. When you're ready, left leg comes back. Taking hold of it with one or both hands, tailbone dropping, belly lifting. And then release. Shake that out. Let's bring feet hip width apart. We'll take hands to the top of the buttocks. We're going to roll the shoulders back, the elbows back, and then lift the chest, coming to a little upper back arch. Imagine there's a helium balloon in the chest floating up towards the ceiling. Take it so high you might get a little light in your heels, like you're going to float right up. And then release, fold forward, and you can bend your knees a little or a lot. Again, letting your head hang, let your face relax. And then lower the hips and we'll come back to sitting. So you can extend your legs forward. Inch the heels as far away from your hips as you can. And we'll fold over these straight legs. So folding is a direction, not a destination. So we're going to go towards a nice flat back, towards folding, and then you meet your edge right where you meet it. Some of you might reach for your feet. If the feet are out of reach, you could use something like a strap around the feet and pull on that, or keep hands on the floor. So your hands are helping support length and folding. And it's not better to get further. It's better to go to right where your edge is. And for different bodies, it's going to look quite different. So don't worry if what you're doing looks different than what I'm doing. Wherever you are, can you relax your shoulders down away from your ears? Can you relax your jaw? The muscles around your eyes. Inhale to look up. Exhale, release. Let's bring the soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. You might grab your big toes or your ankles with that grip. Lift the chest, sit as tall as you can, and then fold as much as you're able. You're just going towards a flat back, towards folding. If your elbows meet your legs, you might push into them to help them open, or if it works better for you, you could lean into your hands or elbows, going towards length, towards folding. Inhale to look up. Exhale, release. Let's open both legs wide. So wide is a relative term, as wide as you can. Try and have your feet and knees pointing straight up. So if your feet or knees are falling one way or the other, keep bringing them so they point straight up. And if you think of the pelvis kind of like a bowl, notice if it's tipping one way or the other. See if you can get that upright. You might sit up on something to help get the bowl of your pelvis upright. And you can use your hands on the floor behind you. If you're already feeling a big stretch, just stay here. If you're not at your maximum stretch yet, lean forward until you find it. Could be right away, or you might fold deeper. Keep going towards length, towards folding, and then relaxing into the position you're in. There are certain positions where it's easy to relax in, and then part of this practice is expanding where we are able to be with, including edgy places, places where we're in contact with the edge of flexibility, the edge of strength, the edge of endurance, the edge of our understanding. And then can you feel whatever this pose is stirring up in you and let it be. So a shortcut I use is, can I relax my face and can I slow down my breath? If the answer is no to those, it might mean I've gone in too far, back out a little bit. And you can always back out. Most poses can be made less challenging, or you skip it and come out entirely. In general, we are slowly going towards what's tight, what's weak, what's uncomfortable, what's uncertain, so that we get more of a range of what we can handle, can be with, can breathe through. But you always get to set that pace. So if you did fold forward, make your way back up. Let's all bring hands to the floor behind us, lean back, draw the legs in, give them a little shake out, and then come back onto your back. You can bring your knees back in for a moment, little circle, and then drop your feet to the floor and we'll get set up for bridge. So feet hip width apart, parallel. Try and have your feet right under your knees and then press your feet down to lift your hips up. Once your hips are high enough, interlace your fingers behind your back and kind of rock your shoulders side to side underneath you, taking your hips as high as you can. Can your breath be deep here? Can you feel all that this pose is stirring up and relax? One more breath here. Release. Come down. Let's take happy baby as a counter stretch. We're going to grab the soles of the feet on the inside and press the knees towards the floor. You can do this in stillness or with a little rocking side to side. Keep your legs bent or try straightening them one at a time or together, part way or all the way. Bring your knees back in, little circle or rock. And just check in with your body. Is there anything else you need to do to feel complete in this practice? If so, take your time, taking any last stretch or self-massage or adjusting your clothing or grabbing props, whatever you need to be comfortable for your final resting pose. Eventually settling back into a symmetrical, relaxed position. Letting go of the control of your breath. And either closing your eyes or taking a soft gaze. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, and then move your wrists and ankles. Eventually stretch out long through your arms and legs. When you're ready, bring your knees in and roll to one side. And you can use your hands to help you up to sitting. I'll bring hands together at the heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today.